Hello, everybody, and welcome to Friday Night Hangout brought to you by Craft Beer Nation.
My name is Randy Gardner. We're joined tonight by Lola Laracy, Jeffrey J. Davis, and Linda Dean. How are you guys doing tonight?
Okay,
What up?
Urkel.
What up?
Tonight we're celebrating New Holland beers. Well, tonight I'm celebrating New Holland beers because it just so happened that we thought we'd pick a beer that had like a really big, or a brewery that had a really big distribution footprint, and we're like, of course, New Holland is everywhere. But it just so happened that New Holland is not in Florida, where Lola is. New Holland is not in Nevada or Texas, where Jeffrey is and lives. Well, he's in Nevada right now and lives in Texas. And New Holland is not in Oregon, where Linda lives.
Wah,
So,
wah, 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 wah.
swing and a miss.
Ow,
But
you hit me in the head. Ow.
before we get,
Randy, soul,
yes,
soul representative.
I'm the sole representative
Fail.
tonight. Hopefully
Epic
somebody,
fail.
hopefully somebody else will join with a New Holland beer. But before we get too far into it, we want to direct you to our show Pints and Quarts. Last night we had Linda,
Oregon Trail Brewing.
Oregon Trail Brewing, just a bike ride away from Linda's house. You can catch that show here on YouTube. I say here, that's assuming you're watching via the YouTube link. You can catch that show on YouTube. Just search Pints and Quarts, or you can catch the podcast form in any way that you get your all of your podcasts. iTunes is a popular one, Stitcher, Pocket Cast, all that stuff. So however you get your podcast, you can find our show. So, and we're also tweeting at CBN_community. We're on Instagram at craftbeer_nation. We're on Facebook, Craft Beer Nation. You can find us on Google+. You can find us on stuff in the internet.
Go outside and yell Craft Beer Nation, and people
we're
will
there.
say hi.
Right.
We're like those State Farm commercials where the person just instantly appears.
There you go.
We yell it and we just appear with beer.
Exactly. We're beer ninjas.
Hmm.
So, so once again, like I said tonight, the high lit brewery is New Holland. I was doing a little bit of reading on them. This basically started by two guys. I think they were roommates in college at it's Jason Spalter camp. They grew up together in Midland, Michigan, and later attended Hope College. Cultivated a love for home brewing at Hope College. How all these people home brewing in college? Like I ain't had a chance to
Okay,
home.
it's totally easier than you think.
Well, I don't know.
It is totally easier than you think.
Well, maybe not at the University of South Carolina. Shout out to the Gamecocks. It ain't that easy to home brew. So
Really?
yeah,
You didn't have a corner to call your own.
I mean, well, I had a room,
You-
but
you
I
You
didn't.
didn't have
know
access
anyone?
to a stove.
Yeah.
Well, my senior year I did because it was like an apartment style, but other than that, we didn't have stoves in our room if it wasn't like an apartment style
Not
dorm.
in your room. I mean, you didn't have access to stoves at all.
Yeah, I'm not gonna homebrew in the community
Who
kitchen
the
with
heck
the
is gonna know?
with the
Who the heck
RA
is gonna know?
walk-
At 4 o'clock. They don't need to know what.
You're just boiling something,
Okay.
and then you stick that little fermenter in your closet, and you forget it.
Well, I guess
You
it was
did
less.
it wrong.
It was a less than ideal situation at my school to
You
do
need
those
to
things.
go back
so-
and start over.
Okay,
No, I
but
think
at
I'm
least
good.
You didn't have to. At least you didn't have to make alcohol in your canteen and hide it from military people.
Was that
Yeah,
what
that's
the
true,
guy
that's-
last night was talking
That was
about?
what Winther had to do in boot camp.
That's awesome. I would love that. I would totally be friends with that person.
So anyway, so they started homebrewing in college, and then essentially New Holland was founded in 1996. They said originally their goal was to produce. We got two Jeffries right now. Just kidding.
Uh-oh.
The goal, well, not
Well,
kidding.
one in Nevada and one in Texas. Makes sense.
The goal was to produce beer that was characteristically unique to Western Michigan. The beer was well received. The company increased production to over 5,000 barrels in 2006, and in 2007 they increased production to 7,500 barrels. And then in 2012, their brewmaster John Haggerty left and opened up his own brewery in Dayton, Ohio called Warped Pig. The brewery also began, well, they have the brewery and they also have a distillery. They began distilling whiskey, rum, and gin in 2005, and they began selling it in 2008. And so right now, it seems as if they produce about 30,000 barrels a year. And once again, which is often the case with a lot of breweries we talk about, I would have guessed that they were putting out a lot more beer than that, because the beer that I have tonight, and I guess I'll go first since I'm the only one with a New Holland beer. I'm drinking Dragon's Milk, and this is one of their very popular beer of theirs. It's a bourbon barrel aged stout. It's not a milk stout, so I know a lot of people make that misconception because it says Dragon's Milk, but it's not a milk stout. This beer is always available. And I mean, and for that simple reason, I was like, well, these guys must, if they always have a barrel aged beer available, they must be, have a pretty good production run going on. But they're only putting out 30,000 barrels a year. So, I mean, it's a lot smaller than I thought they were. But I guess that's a testament to what they must be doing something right. If I thought they were much bigger than what they actually are. So.
Well,
Randy, do you know, are they known for like their barrel-aged beers or what?
So I don't have a specific answer to that. I will say that Dragon's Milk is one of their popular beers. They also have one called Night Tripper. It's like a 10% stout, and then they have the Hatter series of IPAs. It's like Mad Hatter, White Hatter, a whole bunch of different IPAs. It's the Hatter series. So I don't know, Jeffrey, if you had to pick one that they were popular for, would you say it's Dragon's Milk, or would you say it was the Hatter series?
Yeah, to me, I think the one that most people have heard of is Dragon's Milk, and I think one thing that's a little bit of a credit to them is. I don't get on all these Hangouts, but I got to tell you, on at least like 75% of the Hangouts I've been on, regardless of the style, we end up talking about Dragon's Milk for some reason. We always get down a bunny hole on it, but it's a solid beer, and like you say, it's always available, and it's a barrel aged beer. I think we had some discussion last week or a couple weeks ago. Is it really bourbon barrel aged, or is it bourbon barrel extract, or
Well, Jeffrey, let me tell you this, man. So, okay, before I tell you what I was about to say, I'm gonna say I never ever regret buying Dragon's Milk. Never. That said, since it's always available, I tend to take it for granted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, cool. We're doing New Holland. This is I'm gonna drink me some Dragon's Milk. So this is a perfect opportunity for me to get some of their beer. Now. As I said, I remember the specific conversation that you're talking about, because we were also talking about Alltech, the brewery out of Kentucky, and they have that, and we were like, they must just like pass it right through a barrel.
Yeah.
And so for these guys to always year-round have Dragon's Milk on the shelf, you would think that there's very little bourbon barrel characteristics, or they're just like literally passing it through a barrel, like filling up the barrel, and as soon as it gets filled, they drain it right back out. But this beer, you get the bourbon and vanilla from the wood, and you get a pretty decent bourbon flavor. And I don't have a lot of experience with bourbon or barrel extracts, but from what I can tell, I mean the bourbon flavor that I'm getting from this is legit. I don't know. I was trying to find like how long this beer spends its life in bourbon barrels, but I can't find it. But I mean, just based on flavor alone, I mean, you would think that it spent at least 6 months in bourbon barrels.
So you can get that for like what, $8.95, $7.95?
Probably like $8, I think. Yeah.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, you're not gonna get a barrel aged imperial. Well, what's the ABV on this? 11%. You're not gonna get a barrel aged imperial stout for $8, dude.
I know.
You know what I mean? I take this beer for granted, and every time I have it again, I kick myself for not getting it more often, especially this time of year. when I'm more into stouts and barley wines and just bigger beers. Period. But yeah, man. Cheers to New Holland. I mean, I've had a beer a sour that they make called Blue Sunday. That's actually a pretty good sour. I've had Night Tripper, which is one of my buddies. That's his favorite beer. He's always trying to get Night Tripper, but I've had Night Tripper, which is once again a solid stout that those guys make, and I've had a couple of the Hatters. Once again, solid IPAs. I've never met anybody who said I don't like New Holland or I don't like that particular beer that they make. I don't think they're hitting home runs. Well, they do hit a home run every once in a while, I'd say. I think this beer is a home run just based on value and availability, right?
Yep.
But that said, I don't think I've ever met anyone who said that they didn't like New Holland.
Yeah,
So,
right. I agree.
It's a testament to them. I'll say that.
Well, I'd definitely give it a try if I come across it.
Yeah, I shouldn't say I'll be on the lookout because I can go to the store right now and get as much as I want, to be honest with you. Oh, so here you go. This I guess I didn't look very hard to find out. Rate Beer gives this beer a 98 overall, but for the style it gets an 80. I don't understand that.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
doesn't make
understand
sense.
Yeah, but this one, well, on here they have it listed at 10%, but this bottle, as you can see, this bottle says 11%.
Yep.
But 17th century term used to describe this strong beer, usually reserved for royalty. This strong ale was aged in oak for over 120 days. So that's over 4 months.
They call it a strong ale instead of a stout?
Well, no. So the style is imperial stout.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
But the description says this strong beer
Okay.
is reserved for royalty, and then it says this strong ale. I don't think they're saying it's a strong ale.
Okay.
It's just a really
But they're saying it's a
ale.
Strong. Take a.
It's a really strong
So-
stout. It's
Yeah.
The aging process extracts flavors from the wood, which contribute to its complex character. Hence, a bourbon flavor perfectly complement its roasted malts to produce a beer fit for a king. So there you go, Jeffrey. It's not extract. It's aged in bourbon. They must have like a bourbon barrel
Shitload
pipeline.
of barrels. Yeah.
Yeah, either that or maybe they're reusing them.
Yeah.
Who knows? But 120 days, 4 months. No, what am I talking about? 4 months.
Do the math.
Yeah. Whew. Hurting me, about to hurt myself. But Aleworks, Cafe Royale, that only spends like 3 months in bourbon barrels, and it gets all the characteristics. So, yeah, cheers to New Holland. These guys, if they're doing one thing right, it's Dragon's Milk.
Yeah.
So I bet there are a lot of breweries out there that wish they could put as much bourbon barrel beer on the shelf as often as these guys. I'm sure one of these guys must have a brother-in-law that works at a distillery or something, at a bourbon.
Well, no, but
make bourbon.
they have a distillery.
Yeah, but they aren't making bourbon.
Yeah, I bet you they are.
Well,
I mean-
according to Wikipedia, they're just doing what they say, rum, gin, and damn it, now I gotta go back.
yeah, but I'll bet they're not. I'll bet they wouldn't be using their those barrels for their beer.
Why not? I would.
Rum, well, maybe rum barrels, but it says bourbon barrel, so.
Oh no! I was naming all of the spirits they produce. It says
Okay.
it says whiskey.
Yeah.
So
That's bourbon,
That
right?
could be
it could be,
Yeah.
yeah.
whiskey, rum, and gin.
So they're probably
So-
using rum barrels.
But usually, if somebody's making bourbon, they specifically say it's bourbon.
True.
Well, let me take a step back. I don't know when Dragon's Milk was first introduced, but they began distilling whiskey, rum, and gin in 2005. In order for whiskey to be bourbon, it has to be in the barrel for, I think, 4
20.
years
Oh, I didn't know that.
or 2 years minimum or
I
something
think
like
it's
that.
I think it's 2 years minimum, and they have to use Kentucky lightly charred oak. There's some specifications, but they do have a pipeline of barrels. I guess is if they're a distillery, and that gives them
Yeah.
probably gives them some feedstock for a barrel aging program.
So
probably
they
have a little network.
They began distilling in 2005 and didn't sell until 2008, which means that they must have been aging, right?
Yep.
Specifically, the
So
whiskey, well,
all
the rum and the whiskey had to have been being aged if they
Mhm.
waited 3 years to start selling it. So they may
Unless
have.
they
and
went
all
back in
bourbon is
time.
whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon.
Right.
Exactly. All bourbon is whiskey. You can fool some of the whiskey drinkers some of the time, but not all of them
So,
all of the time. You
so let's
can't
go ahead.
fool me.
Let's go ahead and assume that they have their own line
Barrels of
of
some
yeah. So here you go. Mad Hatter, which is their IPA. Full Circle, which is their Kolsch. Sundog is their amber. The Poet, I can't believe I forgot about that one. That's one of their stouts. Monkey King is a saison. We know about Dragon's Milk, Imperial Night Tripper. Imperial Hatter is their IPA from the High Gravity series. Black Tulip is their Belgian Triple from the High Gravity series, and they have White Hatter, which is a white IPA. Ichabod, which is their pumpkin ale. They have Cabin Fever, which is their brown ale. So yeah, they got some.
The two I'm most interested are the Poet, which is the oatmeal stout, and the Dragon's Milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Randy, the ones that get the broadest distribution is Dragon's Milk, Poet, and the Hatter series. I mean, you see that, Total Wine carries those all over, and but they usually only have like 4 or 5 of their beers. They don't have, a really full line typically, is what I see.
They came out this year. I don't know if it's new to this year, but they have variants of Dragon's Milk. So this is the regular, the bourbon barrel stout. Then they have Dragon's Milk Reserve, which is the stout aged in oak with coffee and chocolate. Then they have the triple mash stout aged in oak. Then they have a stout aged in oak with raspberries, and they have a stout aged in oak with chilies.
Ooh.
Interesting.
They're capitalizing off of that
Okay, I guess
Dragon's
there's
Milk.
more than 2 that I'm interested in.
I was gonna say that would make a killer like variety pack.
I've never seen a lot of those.
Okay,
And then-
New Holland, if you're interested in coming to Oregon, call me up. I'll hook you up with stores.
Will you come get him at the airport on the bicycle?
On the bicycle?
Is there an airport in Corvallis?
Yeah, sure. Well, I'll just get Winther to drive me up there on his motorcycle.
That sounds awesome. Although his hair will probably get in your mouth and you'll be like.
Hey,
then, so-
biking hair, man.
So their Hatter series,
Biking hair for biking brewer, sorry.
they have the White Hatter, which is a Belgian style white pale ale. The Rye Hatter, which is a rye pale ale. Tasmanian Hatter, which is a Galaxy IPA.
Never seen that one. That sounds good.
Now,
I
is
love
that
Galaxy
just with
hops.
Galaxy? Is that just with Galaxy hops?
That's
Yeah,
what I'm going to
Smash.
assume. Yeah.
I think
I
it's a
would think
smash.
so.
And they have a oak aged Hatter, which and their label art is awesome. If you go to their website, click on our beer, and look at some of the labels, especially the Hatter labels. They all look pretty funny. Oak aged Hatter is the oak aged IPA. Mad Hatter, which is their regular Midwest IPA. Michigan Awesome Hatter, Michigan Grown IPA. Imperial Hatter, Imperial IPA. So yeah, they got a thing for hats,
El Mole Ocho.
even more so than Gil.
Oh, El Mole Ocho is there.
What's up, Charles?
Chili.
Hey, Charles.
All right. So,
Space.
Lola, what are you drinking?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm halfway on style. I got one word right, so I hope I get partial
New
credit
Belgium.
for that. Yeah. And actually, I've had this one for a while, and I was wondering, how long is it okay to age sours for?
A long
They're already sour, so
Yeah, as long as
time.
up to 5 years, easy.
Okay. So I've got
Not with a sippy cup in it, but if it's still sealed.
it was still sealed. I think I got this around the beginning of the year. The La Folie.
Okay,
Yeah,
now,
that-
did you
that beer
start
is-
drinking it at the beginning of the year and put the stop on it?
No,
Okay.
I did not, because that would be really flat, I would think, and it
But
might
that
attract bugs. Huh?
that beer is good for years, Lola. Like
It
people
is?
keep it and do verticals.
Yep.
Okay. Well, the reason I ask is because I really get the wood. I get the wood a little bit more than I would like. You know what's funny? I've never.
Me too. Especially in the morning.
Jeffrey.
Oh, ha, 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 ha. Yeah. Anyways. So I'm all knocked off now.
Wait, Lola, why do you already have a stopper in the bottle?
Yeah.
Because I started it last night. I got this far last night, and now I drank this much tonight.
Do
It's
that with all sours, Lola?
all beers.
All beer?
Unless I'm having a wild night, and that's when I end up dropping the computer on the phone like it's a microphone and going to sleep. And I'm trying not to do that tonight. Linda knows what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Just drop the laptop. Don't even say goodbye. Just drop the laptop. Lola out.
Lola party.
Lola partied out. You hear me snoring. So anyways, this is aged in wood. And what I was expecting was like the nice tart sour taste with like maybe a little hint of driftwood, like I'm at the beach or something. You get the sour up front, but then it just hits me just like a plank of wood. I mean, it knocks out all the sour. It's just like wood. And the funny thing is, I don't think I've ever eaten wood before. Shut up, Jeffrey.
Till now.
Shut up. But this is exactly what I would think it would taste like. I just recognize the taste as wood. So anyways, it's like a plank of driftwood just slammed into my mouth. And it's like, so it's hard for me to drink it.
Stop it.
It's too big. I can't put it into my mouth.
Lola, you do realize you probably said wood like 17 times just now.
It's too much wood.
I'm so
I have
immature.
a small mouth.
Lola, what made you think that you were gonna get driftwood from that though?
Because that's wood. And
It's okay.
and I live in Florida, and it makes me think of driftwood, and I like going to the beach. Especially like at Little Talbot Island or whichever one of those damn islands it is, where it's all gnarly and everything, and it's bleached from the sun.
So overall, what do you think about the beer though?
The sour part's good. I would have liked a little bit less of the wood because, like I said, I mean, it hits my mouth and all the tartness is gone. It's just, what's another wood for wood?
See, another word for wood?
Yeah, so I can stop saying wood.
So it's interesting. It's interesting you said that, and this just goes to show how people's palates are different. But when I drink that beer, I get very little wood. I get sour. I get.
Yeah, I mean, you could get rid of the excess taste by buying it and sticking it on a shelf for 2 years.
You think?
Even fresh, I still get sour, and I think that beer is fantastic. That's a beer people seek out when it releases.
I know, and that's
I think this year is a little bit kind of earthier though, Randy. I mean, I thought it's really good, but it's more, it's not just a tart sour this year. You get some real nice kind of earthiness to it. It's one of their best beers, I think.
that's a good way to put it, earthiness.
Is there any chance, Jeffrey, that you are mixing that one up with La Terroir? Terroir?
It's possible.
Because they're really similar, I think.
Yeah.
And even the bottle is really similar, and I think Terroir had like a lot of earthy qualities to it.
Yeah, because I just had it at the New Belgium place in the Denver airport a month or so ago. Yeah, I think it was maybe La Terroir. So the earth.
Now that it's warming up, I get a little more tart. It's not quite a plank in my mouth.
You're absolutely going to get more tart as it warms, for sure. Or at least I do.
Yeah. So less wood as it warms, which you would think it would be different. You think it opposite. You would think you would get more wood as it warms up. But
So.
All right, I'm going to shut up. Hey, y'all started it.
Jeffrey, what are you drinking, man?
Yeah, like I said, I'm in a non-distributed zone. So in honor of Linda Dean, I went more Oregonian tonight. So I'm drinking the Ninkasi Ground Control.
Yeah, good man.
And it's an imperial stout brewed with Oregon hazelnuts, star anise, and cocoa nibs. And I guess their thing is they took some of the yeast and sent it up into space. So it's that's why you got all this kind of like astronaut action going on. It's comes in like a Firestone Walker style box, which I think is a little bit overkill because it's
Okay,
I don't know
let's be accurate about the yeast.
Yeah.
Only the first batch of yeast actually made it into space. When it came down, all the rest of the yeast was cloned off of that.
Yeah, so it's mutants. It's it's Luke. I am your father. It's descendants of spaceborne yeast.
Little sperm yeast.
Do you get the hazelnuts? Are the hazelnuts prominent?
Well, what I'm glad for is it's to me that I don't know if it's in order of how much to put in, but the cocoa is the main thing. You get a little bit of the nuttiness and the finish, and what I'm glad for is that I don't get any star anise because I'm not real big on like the real strong licorice notes. So you get a little bit kind of, I'd say it's pretty sweet. It's a little bit sweet for my taste, and it's it's good. It's not mind blowing. I wouldn't seek it out, but I'd never had it before, so it looked pretty cool, and I figured I'd give it a shot.
What's the style again?
It's an imperial stout. It's not a
Okay.
it's not a Russian imperial stout. It's just a double stout. It's 10%. It's to me the mouthfeel is a little bit thin, for a double stout or imperial stout, but it coats your mouth. You got nice kind of cocoa, dry, bitter chocolate, and then as it's getting warmer, you get a little more of the nuttiness, that hazelnuts. And you don't taste any anus at all, which is good.
That is
I don't
good.
like the taste of anus.
Especially if you have a lot of wood.
Yeah, exactly.
They when we had them on Pints and Quarts, that was one of the beers that they were talking about. So
I think it just released it in like April 2015, and I think it's only been brewed once. I'm not sure, but so I don't know how hard it is to find. It seems pretty readily available at the shops out here, but I think they kind of have a limited distribution footprint as well, right? I mean, they're
it's not in Corvallis. It's in Portland, but it's not in Corvallis.
interesting.
I hike my butt down to Eugene to actually get it.
Oh my goodness.
yeah, I don't think we don't get any of their stuff, or if it is, it's not too much in my area here in Virginia.
I've never seen
Jeffrey,
it.
do you like? Well, I know you don't like super sweet stuff. Do you like milky stouts?
Yeah, I like a good milk stout. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Ninkasi's Noir is actually
Okay.
pretty decent.
Good. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've never had that. Really, like the only time I drink them is when I'm out here in Nevada, which is pretty frequently because they seem to be pretty well carried at the shops here. But I'll look for that Noir. That's just a regular milk stout.
It's a milk stout, and
Okay.
it's pretty prominent out here. It's actually very nice. I had it for the first time at September Fest.
Cool.
It's like a dark chocolate. It's a little sweet. I don't know if it'll appeal to you or not. But
Sweet as in
it's a milk.
Sweet as in a lot of malty sweetness, Linda.
As in a bit of chocolatey sweetness.
Yeah, a lot. But that's almost characteristic for the style. I mean, so a milk, a true to style milk stout's gonna be pretty sweet, and you know that coming in, so that's okay. Yep. Good. I'll keep my eye open for that one, Linda. Thank you.
Hardywood Park makes this milk stout called Trickery, and that is probably one of the sweetest, richest stouts. I mean, sweetest, richest, most viscous stouts that I've probably ever had. Like it's like you can drink it with a spoon, man.
Yeah, every time I go for a stout, that's what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming to look. You need to like put the bottle over and pound on it and get the stout out. That's what I want.
It's like a Blizzard, a Dairy Queen, like they pour it in their glass and they hold it upside down.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, Linda, what are you drinking?
I went light tonight. I am actually drinking one of my favorites. I know not everybody agrees with me, but Not Your Father's Root Beer also makes Not Your Father's Ginger Ale.
I heard they were coming out with that.
It's not a letdown.
Okay, that's good. That's a good start.
But it's definitely commercialized ginger ale. it does not have a bite.
Oh, that's too bad.
It's not even Werner's rip your throat out, you know.
Well,
I'm still,
they
it's
kind
like for ginger ale, I'm still looking for that, you know, clawing
Yeah.
sensation.
Fresh ginger. Yeah. Yeah. That kind
Exactly.
You want
That's
that
what I want
heat.
from a ginger ale. But it's a nice little 5.9% ginger ale. It's, you know, it's pretty flavorful. You can taste the ginger.
well, that's
Not
probably
bad.
by design. That's probably by design because they probably had to make it as it would behoove them to make it a little more as mass
middle of the
please.
road. Yeah.
Yeah.
More
Like
like
when you
sweat.
get, I've had some ginger ale that will singe the nostrils just by smelling it. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, I got some over there, and that you can't market it to everybody. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's probably by design.
When
Is
it
it?
when it actually comes to alcoholic ginger beer, you know, I would definitely take Krabby's over Not Your Father's.
Is
They
is
made
it?
Not Your Father's makes an excellent root beer, but the ginger ale is not quite there yet.
Is it like Canada Dry or Schweppes or Schweppes, however they say it? Is it like
It's
that kind of ginger ale, or you?
yeah, it's like Canada Dry.
That's probably what they're going for.
It's
like
not
Randy
quite as
said.
Right,
good as
right.
it's not quite as good as A&W.
I've
I
never
didn't
had
know
A&W
they
is a little bit
I've
better.
never had A&W ginger ale.
I didn't know they
Really?
had ginger ale.
Yeah, I didn't know that
Pretty
either.
good.
All right.
I don't even know if they sell it anymore, but it was pretty good. I'd definitely buy Burners before I'd buy Not Your Father's ginger ale again, even though the price point on the Not Your Father's is cheaper than the root beer.
There's a company in South Carolina that makes a ginger ale, and the company is called Blenheim,
Hmm.
and they make a ginger ale. I drank this thing, and I was sure that they use cayenne pepper in the recipe. It was like
Ooh, that's
I would
what I'm
like
looking
that.
for.
That would
it
be nice.
brings the heat.
I want a ginger ale to threaten my life
Well, that's probably about it.
because I'm going to drink that when I'm sick.
And they kill everything.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll all come
Good
out.
cells and the bad cells. Charles, can you hear us? You good?
Yeah, I'm good now.
Okay. Oh, look at you! You don't sound that low tonight either, man.
No?
No,
Yeah, I'm still
sound
fiddling
perfect.
around with the... Good, yeah. A few
So-
reboots, it looks like it finally kicked in.
I am going to say, yep, New Holland, surprisingly, once again, does not have distribution in New York. So you're off style. What are you drinking tonight?
Yes, this is, I think, my first time ever off style on Friday Night Hangout. But
Dun, dun,
I am
dun.
drinking a Founder's Porter, which
Okay.
Ooh,
Cool.
that's a good one. I
Founders.
like that.
is one of my favorite porters of all time.
Well, so Charles, I'm gonna make a really loose connection here
Sure.
and say that the picture on that bottle kind of sort of a little bit reminds me of like Edgar Allan Poe-ish.
Yeah.
And New Holland has a stout called The Poet, and it has a picture of a raven on the bottle. And Edgar Allan Poe wrote the poem The Raven.
Uh-huh.
And
Keep reaching, man. Keep reaching.
I'm gonna keep reaching, and I'm gonna assume that later in that bottle, that's probably Eleanor that he was writing about in The Raven.
Yeah.
So boom,
And-
there you go.
Porter
And
does
New Holland has
contain...
Founders.
Yeah. And
Nevermore.
Porter does contain the letters P-O-E in it, so there you
There
go.
you go.
There we go. Yeah.
And mine has the word
P-
new in it.
Poet actually. So
Yeah, and he's a poet and Poe. They're all in there.
there you go. All right, Charles.
And
I'm
they're
sorry,
all
man.
Americans. We're all
Is
Americans.
that like a little Batman symbol or something at the bottom?
Oh my God, that's so
Is
cute.
that a heart?
It's a heart.
It
I
looks
think,
like
yeah.
it. It looks
It's a
like
black
Batman.
heart.
It does look like Batman.
That's awesome. I bet Batman drinks that.
Well, it's a
Superman
dark
probably
beer,
drinks.
so- Yeah, Batman
Alright.
looks like
That
he
looks
drinks
nice.
dark beer, so.
Yeah.
Oh,
Superman
wow.
I don't
drinks
know.
really light beer.
That's jet black.
That is
Yeah, oh, yeah.
dark.
Jet black, tan head.
Oh, nice.
What's the ABV on that?
I don't know, actually. I'm not sure where it is even on the bottle.
It's like 7.5, isn't it, or something? Or
Probably around there somewhere.
Let's see here.
Let's see. 6.5. I've got
6.5.
beer
6.5.
advocate up at the moment.
6.5, 6.5, 6.5.
And
That's a
again,
tall
this is
beer.
a great
Good porter,
peanut
Charles?
chocolate porter. Huh?
Good porter.
Oh yeah, it's outstanding. Looks great. In
Dark
the
it
craft
is.
nation
It's
glass,
really
too.
dark.
Mhm.
It is. It's extremely dark porter. You can't see through this thing at all. And it's got a nice chocolatey, porter.
Okay.
And founders, you get your founders hops. You can tell it's not a malt bomb at all. There's a nice hop balance in there.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the I guess arguably when it comes to just a regular porter with no barrel agedness or no
No chili,
no
chipotle.
Yeah.
just a regular porter. That's I think that's one of the iconic style. One of the iconic Jeffrey, what's the word I'm looking for?
I always call it a style reference. It's reference for the style,
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking
Sure.
for.
Epitome.
Yeah.
And this is probably my favorite non-specialty beer from Founders. I'd probably go with this porter as my favorite over their other beers.
That's good when one of their base beers, is your favorite. That's a good
Mhm.
sign.
Oh yeah, this is such a great porter. A
I
lot of
like
porters
having-
can be light,
Mhm.
Some can be thinner and lighter than stouts, but this one it's full of flavor.
So Charles, what's in your opinion the difference between the defining difference between a porter and a stout?
Well, I don't know if there is one. I've always looked at it, particularly in the U.S., as the porters will lean a little hoppier than the stouts. The stouts are more just on the maltier side, and could be maltier, could be creamier, depending upon the kind of stout. But I've always looked at the porters, at least in America, seem to have a little more of a hop note to them. I don't know if that's true overall.
Yeah, and I think the key thing is a porter. You want to really get kind of roastiness or char. I mean, so the the malts are really kind of roasted. So you should get that kind of charred, toasty, roasty notes. Almost a little bit bitter from the malt roast, as opposed to a stout where it can be a little bit rounder, bigger and rounder.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
If you were to blindfold me and give me a porter and give me a stout, if I had a stout that was thin bodied, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between it and a porter. For me, I think they're synonymous, and the difference in my opinion tends to be body and in some cases ABV. But then again, Guinness is a stout that sits at like 4.5% or something like that. So, that has been defenestrated.
I'll tell
So
you what.
body.
I had an excellent porter the other day. I think I tweeted a picture of it. The McKellar Chipotle porter. That thing was so good. Oh my God, I just nursed the heck out of that thing like it was my only child.
Those guys are
so
legit,
good.
Lola. You won't find anything from them that's not good.
No, everything I've had I really liked. And that Chipotle porter. You want some heat, Linda? You want some heat?
Yeah.
Chipotle porter. If I see it again, I'll send it to you. It was freaking awesome. It was like, it was Chipotle.
Yeah, I had a porter on Monday night, so that I'll just tell you the name of it, and then you can kind of imagine it. It was called Harry Porter and the Bourbon Barrel Soaked Vanilla Beans. So that's the name of the beer, and that's literally what it was. And man, it was delicious.
Harry
That was
Porter.
insane.
I love that Harry Porter.
On cask. Yeah, it was delicious. Yep.
We were just saying last night that vanilla bean and anything other than an IPA is probably going to be delicious.
Yeah.
So.
Although I think I turned it around. I think I said that if you put some citra hops in the IPA, I think that might be good.
The challenge has been taken up. The gears are turning.
I like it. I think it can
I'm
happen.
Vanilla beans don't. Well, I'm not gonna waste a good vanilla bean on the IPA. I'm sorry, no chance.
All
Not
right.
your boy.
Not for science's sake.
No.
It's for science, yo.
I know
No.
it's for science.
I'll let Linda do it for
I'm happy
science.
to waste vanilla beans on experimentation.
There you go. Go for it. Let me know how it works out.
Yeah.
Just know that I have low expectations.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
And
Lola is.
I will say
Go
one
ahead.
thing real quick before you move on is when I look at breweries, and especially breweries I haven't tried their stuff yet, if I see they have a stout and a porter, I'll go for the porter first.
Okay.
Why?
I generally like a porter because I know what to expect, and stouts can run the gambit.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true.
There's so many different things a stout can be, and as far as stouts go, I generally like more of your imperial, Russian imperial stouts on that end. I like the higher ABV stouts much more than your lighter like milk stouts. Though there are a couple of milk stouts that are exceptions. And a porter, I know it's going to be in that middle ground there. That I pretty much know what I'm going to get out of a porter.
And porter is also Gil's favorite style. That dude loves porter. So, and I think it's porters tend to not be as heavy, so you can enjoy it a little more. You know what I'm saying, without feeling heavy after having 11% stout. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can
So-
still get up and move around a little bit
Yeah.
without falling.
So Lola, I know you drink your beer out of a jigger and a pony.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go over to Linda because I know Linda has a second beer. What are you drinking, Linda?
Well, I'm always looking for the local solution. Worthy Brewing is out of Bend, Oregon, and this is their winter ale called Powder Keg.
Okay.
Good name.
This
I was
is-
hoping you'd be pouring a Duclaw beer, but go ahead.
I'm saving Dewclaw for Dewclaw night.
Oh, that is right. Yeah.
And this is extraordinarily good.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's a red ale, you said?
It's a winter ale.
Oh, okay. Nice. It's red
Yeah.
for sure.
It's 65 IBU, 7.1 ABV. It's really clear. I don't know if you can tell the
Yeah.
clarity. It's got a nice caramel color on it, and it's malty, but it's not so malty that it overwhelms the hops. The hops are really present. I have no idea what hops they use in this, but it's fantastic. You drink it, and it's like you're walking across a snow-covered hillside.
So
Nice.
just to be clear, it's not a Christmas beer. It's a winter ale, right?
It's a
not.
winter ale.
You're not gonna get many.
It's not a holiday ale. It's definitely a winter ale.
So no
Okay.
spices or anything.
No spices whatsoever.
Okay.
It's just a good, clean malt and hops wintry beer.
I'll tell you what, man. That beer looks gorgeous in that glass.
Yes, it does.
does, doesn't it? I love these glasses.
I do too.
And I'll say
Definitely,
this.
if you're in Oregon, Worthy Brewing Powder Keg is one to pick up.
Stouts look pretty good in these glasses too, I must say.
I think all beers look good in these glasses.
I think so. I like those glasses.
This glass is only ugly when it's empty.
But even then, it holds promise.
That's true. That's true. Even empty, nice and clean. It's a very pretty shelf ornament.
And it holds memories. Lots of
Jeffrey.
happy memories.
Jeffrey, you went to beer number 2.
Yeah, I'm just pouring. Hold on, I got to do my shot.
Oh.
So you got some wood there. You got to.
Yeah, I got a little bit of wood.
Okay, Lola.
Yeah. So
Y'all started it.
gotta
I
take a
was being
picture.
good. I was
So-
being good.
so
You don't have to finish it.
That's what he said.
again, I'm off style. Yeah, so
Wait, hold
I'm
on.
off
White,
style.
is that the brewery White Oak? Let me
Yeah,
box
White
it. There
Oak.
you go.
Yep, exactly. So,
So what's that about, man?
yeah, this beer is awesome, and I haven't had it in I think like 3 years, but like 3 years ago in Charlotte, they had some kind of a goofy distribution mix-up, and literally you could buy this for like $6.95. I mean, it was just
Nice.
everywhere. So I bought like 2 cases, and I drank it, a lot of it for a year, and I haven't had it in a long time. But this is it's a cool beer because it's a 50% wheat wine aged in bourbon barrels, and then blended with Mischief, which is their like strong golden ale. So It's a really kind of unique beer. It's looks, I think it looks awesome. It's not it's pretty turbid. It's not really that transparent, but it's got this really cool kind of and I haven't even tasted this yet. I hope it's still true what I'm saying, but from memory, it's you get a lot of fruit like pineapple and tropical fruits, but then you also get this sort of caramel and coconut and toffee kind of mix, and it's just a really cool, yeah, really cool combination.
Is that bottle from your cache?
No, but it's I just looked at it and it's 2013 edition. I bought this in a bottle shop in Reno, Nevada, like 3 hours ago. So I guess they must have really overproduced that year, and they've gradually getting rid of it.
I've been passing it up, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
I should not have.
No, because you get this. It's got this really cool kind of toasted coconut and vanilla and toffee around like fruit. I think the way I described it before was like candied pineapple slices rolled in caramel coconut or something.
That sounds awesome.
So Jeffrey, let me ask you this: so as far as wheat wines go, and I think I've only ever had one wheat wine, and it's Harvest Dance from Boulevard, and it was absolutely it was phenomenal. It's a great beer. I love wheat wines, and I think it's a really underappreciated style. And that particular beer, since it's a blend, how much of it is wheat wine characteristics? I mean, do you get 50% wheat wine characteristics, 50% mischief, or?
Yeah, I think less. I mean, I think they describe it as 50-50 blend, but it doesn't. You wouldn't probably know it's a wheat wine, if you didn't read that as the blending. I mean, you get more of that kind of just strong golden, almost like strong Belgian golden ale type of taste but then with this weird kind of fruit and caramel vanilla type of notes to it.
What's the ABV
what you get,
on
it? It's pretty high. It's I want to 11.5%.
It should be like 11.5.
11.5. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. If you've never had it, Randy, it's I definitely recommend it. It's quite unique. It's the breweries. I think they're really creative. I think a lot of stuff they do is pretty far left of field that isn't going to appeal to everybody. They also had like Sucre there. I almost picked up that, but I'm like, I can't. I'll be having to borrow Lola's Lola's sippy cup because I can't finish one of those in one night. But this is
let me blow your mind, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
And I may be I can't remember the exact number, so I'm going to give you two. One of which I know is correct. As popular as the brewery is, they only produce like it's either 10 or 30,000 barrels a year.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they do a lot. They have a ton of beers, but they do smaller runs.
Yeah.
It's weird because we've been seeing more and more and more of breweries' beers here in Oregon and Market of Choice like crazy. There's at least 7 different brewery beers in Market of Choice right now.
Yep.
Yeah, we had them on probably about a month ago on Pints and Quarts, and when they told us what their annual production was, I was kind of floored because I was like, wait, what?
You just assumed they were bigger, right? Yeah.
Absolutely, because that's their beer. Almost all of their beers are highly sought after, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you think of you got Gray Monday, you got Black Tuesday, you got Mocha Wednesday, you got Tart of Darkness, you got Sour in the Rye, you got you got they got a barley wine, I can't remember what it's called, the Muse or something like that. I mean, like the beers that they put out, people want, and so you automatically assume that they have a lot of beer out there because you see them online. You see people posting, pours and pictures of what they're drinking. But they're another one, man. If you can produce 30,000 barrels of beer a year and have national recognition, forget about it. You're doing it right.
Yeah, and I think one thing they've done. I'm always interested in kind of the business strategy and the branding. I mean, I think however they've done it, positioned themselves as a sort of a premium brewer. They get a price that's generally higher than probably what they deserve, but just trading on their name. So more power to them,
And also,
I don't know. I mean, the bottles here are pretty expensive, But the autumn maple was worth every single penny I paid.
Yeah. And they only sell their beers in 750s, right? So
Yeah.
I mean that kind of gives it like a premium feel to it, right?
Yeah,
And
sure.
and it's not just it's a pretty 750. You know what I mean? But Linda, to your point, they have some affordable bottles. Like for example, Mischief, I can get that 750 all day for $10. And then
That's about as low as they go though. 10 or 11
Yeah.
bucks. That's about as low as they go.
And they also have one called Terrux or Teru or something like that. Terrux. That's like $12. That's I mean those two beers is as low as you're gonna go, like Jeffrey said.
8 Maids of Milking is not the cheapest, but it again, that was worth every penny I paid too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I'm gonna jump on I'm definitely gonna jump on the White Oak. If I see it in Market of Choice again, I'm just gonna get it.
Yeah. You're not gonna be cheated by the brewery when it comes to that bang for the buck, right? Because that beer nobody buys a brewery beer and regrets it, right?
Yeah, I'd be curious to hear what you think, Linda. I mean, I could imagine you pairing this with some kind of goofy brownies or cookies or something, that'd make a great combo. So caramel salted something.
I would definitely something sweet, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
The wheels are turning.
Yeah. When I first tried it, I thought it was a triple. Before I even looked when I bought it and never looked at the style. I mean, it has a lot of that kind of Belgian crisp fruitiness, but it's pretty unique beer. I like it.
Yeah, that's one I definitely get if I came across it.
Yep.
So, just for the simple fact that it's part wheat wine, and I really dig that style.
Yep.
So yeah, I would do a rundown of what do you guys think about New Holland beers, but
so Randy, what do you think of New Holland beers?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I gotta tell you, man. I mean, like I said, I mean, I don't know too many people who have had New Holland beers and didn't like them.
You don't know many people who've had them.
No, we do. we needed Chris. We needed Liquid Bread tonight. He would have been a good compliment for New Holland.
He was supposed to be joining. I don't know what happened. Okay. But yeah, New Holland is. I mean, they make great beers. I mean, and they run the range. Obviously their IPA series has been very successful because they've got 17 different versions of Hatters. Clearly they can make stouts. Blue Sunday is a great beer. Nobody's gonna pass up the Poet. So I mean, it's not like they've relegated themselves to just making stouts. They make stouts, they make IPAs, they make imperial stouts, they make sours, and everything that I've had from them, up until now, has been legit. So I mean, in a sense, it almost like, and I'm not just saying this because they're Michigan brethren, but it seems as if they're kind of like a baby version of Founders. Founders makes a wide gambit of beers, and they're all delicious. You know what I mean? They all taste good, and in my experience, it's been the same way with New Holland. I mean, it may not be the best IPA you've ever had in your life, but you ain't gonna drink it and be like, it was man. May not be the best stout you've ever had, but you're not gonna drink it and be like, well, I'd rather have this stout. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna enjoy whatever beer you've had from them. You're probably gonna enjoy it. And once again, that's a testament to those guys as brewers who make it a point to be able to, not just brew beer, but brew several different styles, and do a good job at it. So, cheers to New Holland, man. They can brew. So that said, be sure to join us next Friday when the style is holiday beers.
I got it right. Holiday beers. Okay.
So I am going to try my best to find me some nice from Houblon or Choof from Choof. Nice holiday ale.
Nice Choof. Okay, nice.
Well, I don't know how to say it, man. How you say it?
Yeah, nice.
No, nice
Choof.
Okay.
Nice Choof. So you have a bottle of that ready, or?
No, I don't.
Okay, that's a good choice, though.
I had some last year. I had one that I was gonna age, and I just kept looking at it, and I was like, "Fuck that! I'm drinking this."
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
Couldn't keep it off. Couldn't stop.
I'm gonna see if I can come across it between now and next week, so I can drink that bad boy. If not, it'll probably be Sierra Nevada Celebration, and that's not a disappointment for me.
Okay, Randy, I got a question.
Yo,
Would you age Celebration?
I
No.
wouldn't. It's a
No.
It's
a
hoppy
fresh
beer,
it's a
so-
fresh hop
Fresh
IPA.
hop ale.
That's what I said. Oh,
Yeah.
I came across somebody who aged a Celebration from 2013, and I just went, why?
No. Yeah. Exactly.
They probably
Okay.
just wanted to see what would happen to it. I mean, it's I would I wouldn't put it past. I wouldn't say it's wrong to age one just to see what happened to it. Just the same way I wouldn't put it past anybody to age and enjoy by and see what happens to it. I mean, as long as you have it fresh, and then if you want to age one for science and see what happens, by all
For
means,
science,
go
you
for it.
know. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go for it. So, in fact, like I think it would be a good idea to age brown sugar from Lagunitas because that beer has a very nice malty backbone going to it. And if you were to age it and let the hops die down a little bit and then let the malts shine a lot more, that beer might actually be outstanding aged.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what do I know?
So is that what happens? Just the hops die down after time?
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
after like 3 months. Yeah.
They fade.
Well, I mean, if the malt backbone, if the malt is good, then it might still taste good. But
It still tastes
a fresh hop beer is so lovely because of that fresh hop flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a shame to waste that.
I think Lagunitas has a particular I think they have like a base malt bill that they use for a lot of their beers, and it's not just like two row. You know what I'm saying? I think that they have a unique blend of base malt and specialty malt that they use, and it's apparent in beers like Brown Sugar and Undercover Shutdown Investigation, and even to a certain extent Sucks. You know what I'm saying? It's that malty that even though Sucks is a hop forward beer, there's a underlying malty characteristic that's there
Oh yeah.
that's undeniable. And it's characteristically Lagunitas the same way as Omegang's house yeast is characteristically Omegang, and the same way what's the guys that make Le Fin du Monde and Trace
Unibrew.
they have a distinct house yeast that's undeniable in all of their beers. Lagunitas does it with their malt backbone, and it's awesome. So once again, be sure to join us next week, holiday beers, and until then, cheers everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.